So as I did this this time last year, and because I had a lot of fun doing it, this is going to be another two-parter. This will be part one of my Oscar nominations discussion, and I have compiled up to this point what my predictions are for the nominees that's coming out Monday. For me, that's 2 days from now, so it'll be technically Tuesday for me, but that's just to give you guys an idea of how close I'm cutting this. I made this list about a week ago, and, you know, I've been really busy, so I'm hoping to get this out before the nominations are actually announced, and we'll see how that goes. So just to be clear, I will not be discussing in this video the things that like what I think will win or what should win. That's for part two. And of course, take all of this with a grain of salt. This is a mix of my opinion as well as what I've understood based on like inside trades, because of course I've not seen all of these movies, and quite a few of the couple of the big Oscar buzz names fall into this category, and either I haven't been able to make time to go out to them, or they simply have not come up in my area, so there's that. I am going for accuracy, so I will be critiquing myself in part two as well, as far as if I was right or if I was wrong about certain things, and the degrees of how right and wrong I was. Okay, so we're going to start in descending to ascending order. For this, for the most part, I start with the category that I least care about, and then I go up into what I consider the more important ones. And for clarification's sake, I'm not saying that these categories are lesser. They're just not to be something that I put a lot of focus into whenever I review movies. And also, on top of that, I won't be touching on the short film categories or anything to do with documentaries. And, of course, the last few categories that I touch on will be, like, the ones that the entire world stopped to listen for. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into things. First we have... Yeah, I kept everything on my phone. So first we have the best makeup and hairstyling. My predictions are going towards Joker, Bombshell, Judy, Downton Abbey, and Little Women. And again, I'm not going to be discussing why I think each individual one deserves that. I'm just making my predictions, and hopefully it makes sense from what I'm throwing out there. But anyway, next I have Best Costume Design. I predict Joker, Rocketman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Downton Abbey, and Little Women. For Best Production Design, I predict Little Women, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, and Joker. For Best Sound Editing, I have 1917, Joker, Ford v Ferrari, Avengers Endgame, and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. For Best Sound Mixing, same list. 1917, Ford v Ferrari, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Avengers Endgame, and Joker. For Best Film Editing, I predict 1917, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, and Ford v Ferrari. For, for Best Cinematography, 1917, Little Women, Ford v Ferrari, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Joker. For Best Visual Effects, I have The Irishman, 1917, Avengers Endgame, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and The Lion King. For the Best Original Song category, part of this I'm not as confident in, but that's mainly because I don't know too many, so I just threw out the ones that I know of, and maybe a couple ones that I thought were good. So, I have Into the Unknown from Frozen 2, Spirit from The Lion King, I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocketman, Stand Up from Harriet, and then I didn't know what to put as a fifth one, so I just put The Next Right Thing from Frozen 2. That one's probably... That's the one that I'm the least confident in as far as my picks. Let me see. Okay, Best Original Score. I predict Joker, Little Women, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Marriage Story, and Avengers Endgame. Best Animated Feature, I predict Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, The Missing Link, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, and Weathering with You. For the Best Adapted Screenplay, I predict Little Women, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, and Joker. For Best Original Screenplay, I predict Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Knives Out, Marriage Story, The Farewell, and 1917. For Best Foreign Picture, this one's... I'm just going to throw this one out because I don't know enough foreign films, but Parasite is the obvious winner. That I have the utmost certainty on. Also, like I said, I'm not well versed in foreign movies that came out this year. I only ever saw Parasite, and that's because it just so happened to show up in my theater. But if I had to throw in another name, I'd say maybe Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I believe that's what it's called. I've heard rave reviews about that movie, so I'm thinking it's going to end up on the list anyway. So that's all I have for that. Sorry about that. Okay, here comes what a lot of people stop to look at. Best Supporting Actress. I predict Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Nicole Kidman for Bombshell, Florence Pugh for Little Women, and sadly, I wish I didn't have to put this, because she was great in it, but it's not Oscar-worthy, but everybody keeps saying it's Oscar-worthy. I'm worried that Jennifer Lopez is going to be nominated for Hustlers. But I don't know, we'll see how that goes. I wish I was less confident in that list, but that's one of the ones I'm more confident in, but we'll see how it goes. Best Supporting Actor, I have Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Willem Dafoe for The Lighthouse, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then both for The Irishman, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. For Best Actress, I have Renee Zellweger for Judy, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and then another one that I'm confident in, but I wish I wasn't, Awkwafina in The Farewell. Not a bash against her. She was fine, just not Oscar worthy. That was just that was her best performance that I've ever seen her give, and I just thought, okay, it's fine. Let me see. Okay, and then Best Actor, obviously the first prediction is Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Robert De Niro for The Irishman, Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems, and then Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Getting into the last two. So, for Best Director, I predict Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Sam Mendes for 1917, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Bong Joon-ho for... Why did I just blank? I'm looking at the damn thing. For Parasite, and then Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit. Okay, and then Best Picture, and oh, one thing that I have to throw out for, like the first one that I talked about before I get into this, for makeup and hairstyling, it's very rare that you'll see all 5 slots placed, so if I got any of them right, whatever it ends up being out of 5, then hooray. This one, again, Best Picture, it's been a few years since we've had the full 10 slots filled, so I'm not counting it wrong if I put 10 on here and we only get like 7 or 8 nominees this year. I'm not counting that. What I'm counting is, was there a name of a film on that list that I did not cover in my predictions? That is when I'll say, okay, I messed up. So, my Best Picture nominee predictions are... Okay, it scrolled up randomly. Okay, there we go. I predict Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, 1917, Parasite, Marriage Story, Joker, Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, Knives Out, and Ford v Ferrari. So there you go, those are all of my nominees. It doesn't sound like a perfect list, but I'm hoping, I want to see how close I get, and I'm not holding my breath, and setting high expectations for me getting every single thing right, or even half. I wanted to play around with it and see what we could do. But anyway, guys, that's all my time for right now. I don't know when I'll be able to come out with a video talking about, or at least I don't know when I'll be able to come out with the second part of this video, because I've been getting really busy recently. So, yeah, as long as I get this out before the nominees are actually announced, I'm fine with that. And then whenever I can, I will actually take some time to look at what the actual nominees are, and then I'll talk about them then. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed if you just enjoyed hearing me talk about this random shit, please hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on this video. You guys, farewell until the next video, all of you casual moviegoers and movie fans alike, and keep on being awesome.